Hello everyone, this will be the review of game Dungeons of Edera, and the key was provided by developer. This is a rather amateur dungeon crawler game, which to some extent looks like a collection of assets, but it has a very nice feature that I really liked when I played it. I finished campaign in a couple of hours, it's not very long. It also has a feature of being a roguelike if you want, but that means permanent death, and that's not what I do in action RPGs. I always try to make max level character as powerful as possible, so losing one doesn't make sense for me. Also, all thing you get is money, 15% of money, and money is generally not an issue in this game, so it's kind of pointless. The campaign is probably unfinished. I think it's like one act. I'm not sure how long it took. I think it was like 5 hours, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe longer, maybe it was 11. I'm not sure. I think it was less. It was actually rather a couple of hours than not. The good feature in the game is that you can grind passives. Aside from the gear and talents, which are rather limited, you can just grind passives. And you had a limit of 20. Now I think there is no limit. And it actually bought me in this game because there's actually no limitation how powerful it can become. Maybe let's look at settings before we start. General, okay, so screen shake. Why is it on yes? I think we need to put it on no. I don't want screen shake. Boon effects, yes. Language, let's leave it. Cameras, what? Cinematic, normal. I'm not sure what cinematic. Let's leave cinematic. Video, okay, so yes, it has the window mode, it works correctly, so no problems here. I think I cut down some stuff. Yes, I cut down like this. Medium, low, off, and so on. So it's generally cut to low settings, but it doesn't run very well. It's probably done on some weird engine. Keyboard is, I didn't touch it really, no, but you can change all the buttons, so that's nice. And audio, of course, very low as always. So let's go maybe back to the campaign which I'm playing. I have this character level 26. From what I know, level 51 is the cap, so you won't really get that many talents in the course of the game, but you can get tons and tons of passives. So let's load it. I will show you one mission. I'm already done with the campaign, but I will show you one mission. You can take them from a board. There's 3 of them to choose, and you can just keep grinding them as much as you want. And if you kill the boss at the end, if you make it to the end, because you don't have to, you will get a passive. And those passive are the core of the game. That's what makes the game cool. So that's how it looks. I would say it looks okay, like some weird gothic game, or very very poor man's Dark Souls. Hard to say really what it's trying to be, but I would say it's okay. Graphics in this sort of games are okay for me. I don't need that much. Those effects when I run is because of one of the passives, the fire under my feet, and this thing that flies around me, the butterfly, is also from the passives. So maybe I will show you here. Well, you have a couple of shops. Maybe we'll go to a shop before we go to the mission. Here you can gamble for items using your money. It's just gambling, basic stuff, and that's the shop. So shop sells weaponry, armor, and some other stuff, potions that work for a small period of time. Not sure what spells, I never found any. Tools are mostly just, I think it's lockpicks, but I'm not entirely sure. So if you sell stuff, you can sell the collected loot in the shop, then you collect the money. Money usually goes for gambling. You can also unlock some teachers, which give you access to more talents, but well, we'll go to talents in a moment. And here is the board with missions. There is also people who give you missions, but those are with campaign. At this point I can just go to NG+, I don't want to see, so that's the idea. You go to some mission, we're gonna maybe go to trade dispute, easy, and let's load it. I always play on easy because I don't want to lose gear. I just treat it like a normal RPG when you just make your character stronger, don't lose anything. I don't necessarily want it to be a roguelike. Sound is messed up, by the way, if you load games. Now it's loud, it should be okay in a moment. But it's, yes, and now it's silent. Before it was loud. So how do you play? Well, you can activate your aura, which is very basic and doesn't do much, just some armor. And then you run around killing stuff or doing mission. The mission is to kill 30 thieves. I don't want to do it. I can kill one, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that was the lock-on thing. So this is theoretically like Dark Souls, but it's very, very basic. You can lock on enemies, you can roll away. Like I could roll. The game probably has horrible frame rate. I don't even want to check it, but it's probably really bad. I just ignore it. Yeah, I picked up some loot. So you can roll, you can attack, you can probably strong attack. No, this is a block actually. Not sure if there's a strong attack. I just use normal attacks or skills. There is this nice skill. I think it's on 5. Let's see. I'm gonna try to use it. Yeah, so this is like a constant attack. You can use it pretty much like whirlwind. As long as you have mana, you can cut down enemies. Just like that. And then I can just kite them away. Throw, let's say, card drops. You can have a mercenary who is fighting somewhere there. I'm just cutting them down. Again, I just leveled, by the way. And let's kill this guy. Alright. And I will now... I'm trying to de-lock him. It was locked, I want to unlock him. Right. I'm gonna collect maybe one more thing, so I'll show you the loot. And yeah, they are almost dead. He killed them on his own, which is very nice. And there should be somewhere there the boss. It's a rather fast mission, so I will just kill the boss and then we'll probably quit it, because if I finished I will just get 200 experience, and I'm much more into passives than experience. Experience is capped anyway. So I can block attacks and attack myself. I have a bit higher HP at this point, so they're not doing that much to me. Also it's on easy. But at this point I'm just grinding the passives, which is the best part of the game. So I'll show you one passive here, and then we'll check the character screen. So that's the choice, right? We can have 2% chance to daze, 5% chance to launch slicer disc. I think it's actually when we get hit, and that's the chance to freeze. I'm gonna go with this because I already have a couple of those. I would like to have 100% chance. Probably can. Alright, so we have it activated. Now let's just check the character. I think it's, yeah, this one. Okay, so inventory, you have 4 slots for rings, 2 slots for weapon, 1 ranged weapon, gauntlets, helmet, chest piece, pants, and amulet. I'm gonna just slowly hover on those so you can see the stats. You have legendary, you have epic, and I guess that's all I have. I think I have 1 rare as well. That's the kind of stuff you get. Generally some lifesteal and damage, mostly. Yeah, some magic find. Again, damage, a lot of damage, lifesteal. Again, HP, damage, more damage. Okay. So if you look at the stats, those are general. I have some health regeneration, which is very useful. We also have 440 damage, which is quite a lot. There's attack speed, there's cast speed, there's lifesteal, magic damage. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I don't think it works with physical attacks. I think it's for spells. Then we have armor and reduction. Actually, it shows the reduction. And we also have reflection. We actually reflect damage. So you can build up a character you want with all those stats. That's quite well done. If you want to focus on something, you can, generally speaking. Then we have talents. So we have 4 trees with talents. Again, it's loud here for unknown reason. And I'm going to use something that's always useful. So I'm gonna maybe go here and add something like more armor. Just 5 more armor always. I have quite a lot of passives here. And then I went into some special moves. Again, this is for damage reflect. I was testing a couple of things like the whirlwind with two-handed weapon. Now I'm using two weapons, not one two-handed, so it's not being used. And this is the cutting skill, the infinity slash. It's very useful. But overall, you can try a couple of builds here. You can also use wands and use magic if you want, but I just find this warrior tank build quite useful. Boons, that's the best part of the game, right? So you just get stuff like this that stacks and stacks forever, and it's gonna make you really powerful. So I'm gonna just hover on some stuff like this is just pure health. This is lifesteal, bonus damage, inventory bonus, so we can have more loot. This is just more health, stamina, and mana, more lifesteal. Yeah, this is a regeneration of the 3 bars on the top left corner. Again, even more health and health regen. This is actually less health, but lifesteal. So I had to uh, find an optimal way between losing health and adding stuff. So if I take this, I would probably also need like this, right? So I get some health back, and then I sacrifice some health, but I get lifesteal. All to the point where you are very strong, right? Stuff like this. Again, bonus damage. I have 2 of them, so that's like 30% damage right there. This is actually attack speed. Yeah, it's attack speed. No, what does it do? It says attack speed 100%. No, it's freezing. Yeah, it's freezing enemies. I don't know why it has the attack speed. Very weird. It has the parameter of attack speed for no reason. Like this is 1%. I think it's what 1% crit chance, and so on. Right? Bigger chance to get herbs when you collect them. That's damage reflection right there. That's 20 points. Again, damage reflection. So all that stuff together builds up eventually a very powerful character. Yeah, again, this is 2% chance to get some health, and so on and so forth. So you can stack those as much as you want, and this actually makes the game rather cool. Even if you finish the campaign, you can keep playing and make yourself very powerful, and then you can play on harder difficulties, or you can go to NG+. You can prolong the game. Even though the very campaign is rather short, you can prolong it. If you want to play on every difficulty and go to NG+, and replay, and that will be max level, and get more of those, or do achievements, then it's gonna take longer. So not a very long game as it is now, but this is probably the best feature. Journal is probably for quests, which, well, this one is just now the one that we are doing, and we have also lore books, but that doesn't really do much. Then we have stats. Stats is just how much we do of what. I'm not sure. Yes, it actually tells us 2,200 enemies killed, and that's spells we have. So that's basically skills from the talent tree. Not sure how you get more. So this could be bigger. Like there is 4 here. That's like 9. That's more, but also not that many. And some very basic passives that probably you always want, just to unlock stuff and to get more HP and so on. But you only have probably 51 points to put here. Whatever you use here, well, maybe not whatever, but most of the stuff that you get from talents, you get from boons, right? Not skills maybe, but all the stuff like more HP, more damage you get from boons. So boons are the key element of the game. The more boons, the more stronger you are. And this is well done. So that's the game. That's what you do. You go to you always go to the dungeon. There is always a boss at the end. There might be a teleporter to the boss room, or there might be just the boss standing there. And the whole campaign is done pretty much like this. So you always go to an instance like this with lots of enemies inside, and you kill them. You do something that's needed for a mission, and then you just move to another mission. You go to the hub area. There's like 2, I think there's 2 hub areas at this point. So you go from one hub area to another, and then you have to go to the instance and you clear it. You either go for the boss, or you perform some task, like in this case it would be killing 30 thieves. and well, you either do the boss or you don't. It's optional, unless it's the key point of the mission to kill a boss. If it's not, then it's optional, and you move through the campaign, or you can just ignore the campaign and grind in the middle of it, or even at the very beginning. You can just do the random missions and level up and then do the campaign. So that's the game. That's exactly what you do. It's not very polished. It's rather basic. It looks like some sort of, asset flip. Not sure if it is, but the aspect of creating your character is pretty good actually. It's very grindy, but it's satisfying. You can really be very strong and even one-shot enemies, and that's a good part. But generally, I would say the game is kind of overpriced. I mean, it's not that polished as other games at that price. Uh, Probably you can even get, like, I don't know, Gothic 3 or something like that, where you actually have a full story and campaign, and you also have creation of character. Or you could just play some sort of action RPG instead and have a very polished character creation plus the whole campaign and all the other stuff. And the game could be also cheaper. For instance, Grim Dawn is cheaper when it's on sale. So, well, Grim Dawn or this, I would definitely say Grim Dawn, even though it's not exactly the same genre, but still. Even some kind of wooden and clunky games, because this one is as well clunky and wooden, would be probably better. Like if you want something similar to Dark Souls, then probably you have more fun with Lords of the Fallen. If you want something, I know there's one game about vampires that I actually reviewed, but I forgot the name. It's something about Bloodlines, and that game was also very amateur, but it was better also than this, more polished, definitely more polished and longer. So there are definitely alternatives. But if you grab it cheap, it could be worth it. Actually, I had fun with it, especially when I started grinding those boons, because I thought that they are limited to 20, which wouldn't be very cool. But because they're unlimited, it's actually a nice way to level up your character. Just by grinding and grinding as much as you want. You can stop at any point, but if you just feel like you need more HP or more damage or more whatever, or you just want to get so much lifesteal that you will just regenerate all health in one shot, probably you can do it. It's just gonna take hours upon hours of grinding, but it's nice that there is pretty much no cap on this and you just can keep growing. Of course, it completely doesn't make sense to play the roguelike mode, because the best part of the game will be just destroyed whenever you die. You just lose everything. So that's not the best idea. But personally, I like it. Just it's not gonna last for long. Like, I didn't play it that much. I might grind it a bit more, but I don't see myself playing it for much longer. I could just get, like, another 50 boons, but there is very little reason for it. I guess I could do it and then go to NG Plus and play again. Maybe enemy scale. Maybe I could try on harder difficulty, but if I do it, I can risk losing some of my gear, which is completely pointless, because gear is also very important. Like, all the gear that I found here is very important to my build. If I lose it, I would have to just grind for legendaries and grind for epics, which would take forever. Like, kind of pointless to lose stuff like this. Even in Dark Souls, you don't lose your gear, and here you do. So the game is kind of in between of ideas and things. Like, it doesn't know what it's trying to do. It's kind of roguelike. It's kind of trying to be something like Dark Souls with this risk and the reward system. At the same time, it's action RPG. I even heard, I think I heard from someone that it's like Diablo, but it's, well, not really. It's different perspective. So I would say the best part is this boon system, and the itemization and talents are okay. They're not great. There's only one general class which mixes everything. So once you have one main character, there is no reason to make another. So a lot of stuff would need to be fixed here and polished and changed to make it reward bigger money. But if it's cheap on sale, I would say it's worth it. Definitely not worth the asking price, but if it's like 75% off or something like that, I would say it's worth trying. On the condition that you really like min-maxing characters and making builds, because that's the key strong point of the game. There is really nothing else that's done very well, but this aspect is quite fun and satisfying. You can try different builds and it's gonna make you think, it's gonna make you try stuff, and it's gonna give you at least a couple of hours of gameplay. So for that reason, it's worth getting cheaply, but otherwise, I would say, well, there are simply better games out there. How many points I would give it? I would actually give it 6 out of 10 because I think that this aspect is very nice. It's very cool to not be limited, and also the basic elements that constitute a character are there. Also, the settings are pretty well done. We have quite a lot of stuff to change, so you can cater the game to your PC, to your needs. You can change a lot, even though the engine could be better because it's some weird engine that doesn't run very fast. Well, yes, we have items with various tiers and rarity. We have talents. Well, altogether, there's quite some of them. 51 levels to get. So also you don't have like very low level cap. You have those endless boons, and altogether, definitely you can make a character you want. But well, there are other games that do it better. So it's only slightly maybe about average in that aspect, while other aspects are rather basic. Well, but I did have fun. I did have fun with that aspect. I definitely like those games. So this is also a biased opinion because I personally like action RPGs and I like Diablo-like games, and I very much like min-maxing builds. So for me personally, this is quite satisfying. But of course, if you want to focus on other stuff like the story or the general graphic, quality, or the open world aspect, which is pretty much not here, then you will be rather disappointed. But yeah, the character creation is actually done well. Right, so that will be it for Dungeons of Edera, and I will see you guys in the next review.